Alright, we're back here with a brand new live stream. Welcome everyone to this stream. This is going to be a video that I think a lot of people are going to view after the fact. But yeah, this is going to be a breakdown of Allstar. Um, for those of you that kind of joined in the middle of the stream, nobody's watching yet. But I have the 3 pages here. It is in the sheet music is in the description. I also put it out on my Discord server if you need a link or an invite to that. You can do that. Just back this up a little bit. That should be pretty much centered. Yeah, so welcome everyone. What's up, guys? So I'm going to be doing a full breakdown of Allstar. If you need the sheets, you can download, print it, view it on your phone. The link is in the description. And yeah, this is going to be a very, very, very long stream because this is an extensive cover. A lot of it is repetitive if you didn't pick up on that already. So yeah, grab a drum pad. I'm going to give it a few more minutes just if anybody still wants to join. But go ahead, get a drum pad, sticks, get this music out, and we're basically going to go through this. I'm going to be rolling through this fairly quickly, more quickly than I would if I was teaching this to somebody probably in person, because I have no idea if you guys will like get it immediately or not. But if you guys need like a refresher on any type of content or anything I cover in this tutorial, pretty much just rewatch through the stream. You can rewind back through the live and then catch up later. I'm just going to be going through this, and it's going to be a fun time. Like I said, music is in the description, also posted on my Instagram, and also posted on the Discord server. If you're not on the Discord server, let me know, and I'm sure somebody in this chat has a link to it and can send you an invite. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade to my louder pad so that you guys can hear me a bit more clearly. But yeah, I'm just going to let people join this. Let me know if you're learning this in the chat or if you're just watching, because I'd like to know my general basis of people and who I'm going to be teaching this to and stuff like that. So if you're in the chat and you're learning this, I see that there's like 10 people. Just let me know, and that way I know you guys. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, yeah, just feel free to ask. To give a lot of context to everyone watching this, this entire piece is a mixture of kind of three main styles. It's got traditional core style, modern core style drumming, and then a bit of show style in, because there's some crazy visuals in here. But overall, it's not very hard. If I was to rank this, I would rank this on the intermediate scale with some advanced techniques applied, but a lot of this isn't crazy chops or crazy stick tricks. A lot of it's very intermediate based, and it's not too difficult. So hopefully a lot of you guys will be able to pick up on this quickly. The main thing that I want everyone to go ahead and note right now is this is meant for two people. So there's parts that require another person. So there's split parts, there's shot splits, there's visuals that require two people. So you don't have to do all the visuals in this, and you don't, by any means, you don't have to play this with another person. However, that is what it's intended for. So if you know somebody that you'd like to play this, it pretty much, yeah, like pretty much just figure out who you want to play this with, and you guys can learn this together. This video will be up permanently, so just make sure you watch back through this if you need clarification, and hopefully that should answer any questions that you need. Yeah. Yeah, this pad's going to rattle a lot. Alright, so I've given it a bit of time, and I'm going to go ahead and get into the teaching now. So we're going to start on page 1, of course. So keep in mind, it's 3 pages long, and I'm not going to try and make this like a lecture, because I know we're all probably having to do stupid online lectures because of all the virus stuff going around right now. So like I said, if you need the sheet music, it's in the description. I'm going to say that for the last time. And yeah, so yeah, pretty much go with that, and we're going to start with this. So the tempo is 104 beats per minute. So I'm not going to be playing to a metronome because I don't have any of my stuff set up right now. But yeah, go ahead and pretty much, what is it? you can use a metronome if you need to, but that might interfere with the speed that I'm playing at. I don't really know. But when practicing this or performing this, it's at 104. I'm not going to be playing in the music, but this is really self-explanatory of how it connects to the music. Each section pretty much correlates to a certain part of the song. And I'm going to go ahead and break that down right now. So we have an A section, we have chorus 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we have a B section and C section. And along with that, we have a short bridge, and that represents every section in the song for All-Star complete. So there's a lyric intro section, somebody once told me, etc. And then picks up with where I'm going to be showing you guys now. So this is the shot ping. So it's a dotted 8th note into a diddled left-hand 16th note. So very, very simple. You want to make sure that that ping is crisp, because you don't want to like just kill the first note. It's not very pleasant and not good to surprise people in that way. So very simple first beat. Yeah, moving on. So this first measure has a visual that's pretty optional. It doesn't really change any of the rhythm, and it can be done many different ways. So we have a pancake. So the rhythm for the first two beats is, or the first two rhythms, or first two beats in this measure are going to go. So basically when we start this, it's going to look like this. That is the first measure. Of course, there's the shot split in there. That's going to be quite different depending if you want to do it or not, and that's going to change. But anyways, so the pancake visual, so you're doing a full 360. You want to turn your, or kind of throw outwards so that you get a full 360 spin, and it's spinning on this axis, not necessarily like this. That's like a normal full flip, and you can do that as an alternative if you're not comfortable. I'll be honest, I'm still not as comfortable with pancakes as I would like. So pancakes are not the easiest thing. So yeah, pretty much, yeah, so the pancake, you're going to toss it starting on beat 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, or sorry, 1, 2. So like I said, you can do a flip, 1, 2. Sorry, I slowed down there. So then for the shot split, you have a difference between, so you see the two pairs of shots. So either one player plays, so a left hand, and then two patadas with a shot on the first of each patada. And then the other person plays two notes, and then a patada into a shot tap. So, or, so basically put that together, the two parts will either sound like this. That's part 1, and then part 2 with the accents that follow the second to the beat would go like this. So hopefully that makes sense. You can do whatever sticking you're comfortable with. If you want to play both shot patterns together, I think the easiest way to do it would be with straight sticking. So I'm doing right, left, left, or right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Yeah, etc. You get the point. I'm not used to playing both parts together because, of course, I had a coordinated part to this. Like I said, this was intended for me and my roommate's skill level and how we wanted to perform it. The visual and everything is really optional. If you want to keep the integrity of the piece, you can do the visuals, but they're not mandatory by any means, but it definitely adds a lot to any cover if you incorporate visuals. That's why I do a lot of visuals in mine, because it's eye-catching not only to percussionists, but also to non-percussionists. Alright, so we're going to move along. Hopefully that was enough clarification for measure 1. The rhythms are not too complex. If you're not used to 16th to 8th note, that could be a little bit trippy. But yeah, so we're going to keep moving on. So the next one, we have two 16th notes into 2 hertas with a cross on the first left of each herta. So keep in mind, our herta is 2 fast notes, 2 slow notes. If you know that rhythm from a specific channel, go subscribe to EMC Productions. So yeah, make sure you got the cross clean. You don't want to like overemphasize the cross, because then it's going to ultimately like either just look like you're gonna hit rims or you're gonna hit your sticks on the back. So be relaxed And it's simple, just like when you pull back for a shot or a ping. It's basically the same concept, except you're moving opposite. So think about that. So it's going to be 2/16 notes and then 2 hertzes. So this next pair of rhythms can be a little bit tricky, but it's basically two tap fives, except they're fivelets, so all the notes are slurred together. That makes sense? Sorry, not a shot at the end. So you want to just make sure all those notes are the same speed. It's not 2 tap fives, but it's not. It's all the same constant speed. And make sure you have the full 8th note rhythm at the end. Alright, so the first 2 measures will go like this. With the pickup, 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, it's cleaning those fivelets was pretty hard because to have the same interpretation of making the notes all the same, and it's almost like you're guessing, but you have to understand that it's a bit hard to also play with a metronome. So it's 5 notes in the time of 3, so think about that. You don't want to get... As you get faster in tempo with those types of rhythms, they definitely do tend to just end up being like diddles. At least that's how it sounds, because the accents kind of just speak for themselves. So, alright, so then we're going to get into these next few measures. This next pair of measures is probably more towards the more difficult range. So we're going to have a buzz shot, so that's not a ping, that's a shot. And then into 5 diddles, starting off the left hand, with a right hand release. So hopefully that resonates a bit. So it's a 16th to an 8th back to a 16th note. Alright, then the next 2 beats we have 2 puttidos with the backstick on the second puttito. If you're not familiar with backsticking, it's just basically rotating the stick backwards, of course, and playing almost like you're in traditional grip with the stick. You can also do backstick like this. That's a more modern way of doing it, but it gives you more of a dead sound, which you don't want. You want a more smooth sound. And it's a bit easier instead of like forcing the stick. So after that we have a right hand lead with a right hand twirl, or basically a right hand pancake that doesn't leave your hand. So yeah. So put those together, a little bit tricky, but main thing is not to pulsate that diddle passage, and also to make sure that you can get that back sticking in smoothly. I plan on releasing some warm-ups and exercises to incorporate visuals in them so you can get more comfortable with stuff like back sticking. Great way to do that is by gridding, but I'm not going to waste my time trying to explain that right now. But yeah, so the basis of that measure is be relaxed and constant through the roll, and make sure you can smoothly do the back stick and then come out of it with the twirl. You can almost like kind of do that with your right hand, so force it outwards, but yeah. So those are the first 3 measures. Now, before we take a short little break to recover what we've done, this is the 4th measure. So we're going to have 2 right hands and then 2 left hand puttidos, except those puttidos are going to be downbeated by high moms. So keep in mind, it's not 1 high mom, but it's 2. So you're going to have to get used to high mom grip. If you're not familiar with a high mom, look up the tutorial and you should be able to find a very in-depth explanation on how to do it. But in simplest terms, you take your thumb off the stick if you're in traditional grip. It's only possible to play this in traditional grip, keep that in mind. Take the thumb off the stick so that it's right here in the webbing of your fingers, kind of like you're doing Star Trek right here. If you've ever seen that, it's kind of an old movie at this point, but Yeah, so you have this, and then you're going to do a full rotation around with the stick like this. So your palm originally is facing out this way, then your palm's going to be facing the exact opposite way to basically do what you would call a 360. So usually you let the high mom do the natural rebound, and the stick's going to just come back. But you have to hold it there and like stop it halfway in order to do two. So you can just kind of practice that, getting two good notes with high moms without losing kind of the flow of it. You don't want to like choke it and stop the rhythm, but it takes a takes a good deal of control to be able to do high moms fluently and consistently in high mom grip. Yeah, anyways, so you're gonna have in review. So now the really hard part is the last two beats of this is we're gonna have a diddle split. So coming out of that high mom, you're gonna do an upstroke basically into a diddle split. So it's a little bit hard. If you're on the upbeats, it's actually even easier. Or sorry, because you have that little bit of space to recover and get those clean diddles in there. When you do that diddle split, you can honestly do and just do it as a straight roll if you don't have somebody to split with. But when you play that, you got to make sure that whoever you split that with, that your diddles are consistent. And that goes for any split. Your rhythms have to be consistent in order to be matched up and sound good in a split. Because if you're doing a different interpretation of the diddle, let's say person A is doing really like crushed diddles and person B on the upbeats is doing really open, it's not going to sound the same. It's going to throw you guys off the time. And it's going to just sound like crap. And you don't want that for a diddle split. You want it to sound fluent and like it's one person playing it. That's the idea behind any split. It's taking something that one person would play and you take it across multiple people. All right? So in turn, that measure is going to be, I'm just more used to playing the upbeat, so that's how I'm going to do it for the rest of this video. So, and I definitely think that's the easier part as well. So then there's just a tap shot at the end, and that should be a ping. Don't know if we did a ping in the video, oops. But yeah, anyways, so to review the pickup and the first four measures of section A, if you're following along with the music, it's going to go like this. 1, 2, 3. And then if you're doing the downbeat splits, so yeah, you just make sure your diddle interpretation is constant and that you're relaxed while playing this, because there's a lot of visuals. There's some fast rhythms, some more uncomfortable rhythms, and some unnatural sticking in this. So be careful with it and take it slow if you can't get it up to tempo at the start, but we're just going to keep on going. So this next part's a lot easier than it seems. I know the sticking looks a little bit whack in measure 6, but I can promise you it's not actually that bad. The key thing to keep in mind is to have low heights on the diddles, and you'll pretty much get through this. So this is actually a skeleton of a 32nd note paradiddle with two paradiddle diddles at the end. With all of these, keep in mind, we'll have accents on the first beat of the paradiddles. Yes. So it's, you're gonna have a high tap and then a diddle tap. So that's basically doing inverse patadas, right, right, left, right, right, left. I know a lot of you guys are probably gonna want to default to doing like constant sticking that's always changing, but you got to get used to playing diddles right after the same hand. I'm just going to let that measure speak for itself. Keep in mind at the end of this measure, I'm just going to correct myself real quick, there's not an accent on the end of this measure. And you're going to have a low release. So keep in mind that low release. So then, yeah, next measure, measure 7, we're going to have 2 counts of 4/16 notes with an accent on the 4th partial of each. So 1 E and out, 2 E and yeah. So then we're going to have 2 sextuplets. One is the same that we had in measure 4, technically measure 3, but a pa-da-da-ba-ka-da, so pa-da-da-ba-ka-da. and then an inverse potado with backsticks on each left. So yeah, you're gonna have to get real comfortable with backsticking because there's definitely, that's a bit challenging to do if you're not familiar with that stuff before. But once you get sixed up with backsticking, you can apply it in so many different places. I'm actually surprised I haven't seen more and more people use it in drum covers, because it's actually something that you can use really easily. I use it in almost every drum cover I do. Yeah, etc. So yeah, continuing on from there, you're going to keep your left stick in the back position, because then the next thing we're going to do is some stick slides. You can call these stick swipes, stick slides, stick shots. These aren't stick shots because you're not hitting them really hard, and it's not like you're using them to create a different sound. You're more just doing a visual with it. So it's going to be starting like this: tap, tap, and then you're going to start the slide. 1, 2, 1. So your left stick's back, and what you're doing is basically sliding off the stick. So your left back stick's just going to stay constant the entire time. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know in the comments or in the things if you need further clarification later on with that. We'll come back to this A section, because believe it or not, this A section is probably one of the hardest parts other than the bridge. So then you're going to have 3 rights and a left hand buzz, followed by 2 16th notes and then 2 diddles. And anyone that's just joining us, keep in mind, if you need this sheet music and you want to follow along, you can download the sheet music and then just look around in it, and you should be able to hopefully figure out where we are in covering this. But anyways, so basically put those 3 measures together and you're going to get So I know I'm rushing through this pretty quickly, but I'm just trying to keep this consistent. If you need to like replay it over and over again to get it, that's fine. Increase my watch time. It works great. But yeah, if you need even further clarification, don't hesitate to ask. I'm fine with answering any questions on this. I understand that this is a little bit unnatural, and there's a lot of different visuals and other things that you usually don't play in a marching band or typical drumline show. So yeah, anyways, so we're gonna have, keep in mind that measure, low release. So this last measure is a little bit tricky, but just keep in mind with the sticking. So let's do it without accents. And then add the accents in. So you're starting with a tap, and then basically a tap diddle into 2 single drags, and then into a tap roll, and then a shot buzz. And then you're going to kind of do a little bit of a float with the right hand after that. It's not notated in, however, that's just kind of how it goes with the music. Sorry. And that is the A section. So once again, I'll just play this at a relatively slow speed if you want to try and chop through these first 8 measures. But this is how it goes. All right, so starting with the pickup. 1, 2, 3. And now at regular tempo. All right. So that is the A section. If you need any further clarification on that, ask again later on, or ask now preferably, and we can go over that. See a few questions. So where did you learn to play? This entire style and most of this stuff that I'm doing right now for you, I taught myself how to do. Most advanced stick tricks, I looked up tutorials on how to do those, but a lot of stuff I just learned from like looking at something and just being able to pick that up. Same thing with rhythms. I first learned how to drum from Fife and Drum in the Clone Williamsburg Fife and Drum Corps when I was 10. And then once I was like around 13, 14, I just started kind of going off on my own and teaching myself new things. And I never really had a personal instructor or somebody oversee me ever. I've gotten some advice and lessons from various percussionists along the way, but nothing consistent. But yeah, anyways, back into this. So now this is the next part. I kind of covered this in my last live stream, I think, a little bit, and did a bit of a breakdown, so you can also find another wild explanation there. And I was doing that without sheet music because I understand this, but this is the chorus. This is going to be the thing that repeats itself throughout the entire piece of music. So you're going to find the chorus 4 times. The 4th time, it's an extended chorus, and there's going to be a little bit extra added on to it. So the differences with each chorus, if you're familiar with 1st, 2nd, or even 3rd endings, there's an ending that changes each time with it. So basically the chorus is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 measures, and then there's going to be the last 2 measures are a special ending each time. And instead of notating that with 1st or 2nd endings because there's not a repeat, I basically just added a specific 2 measures that correlate to the ending each time. So the chorus repeats itself a lot, and once you know this, you'll know over half the piece. So yeah. Alright, so the chorus starts out on beat 1 with a beat of singles. So keep in mind, keep those fluent and all at the same height. A low 3-inch height is sufficient. You don't need to go, because if they would have been accented if that was the case. And then after that, so after we have the nice low crisp singles, we're going to have a flam tap into a flam 3, another flam tap, flam 3. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That's way too fast, but anyways. So you hear the point, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Make sure that all of your flams are the same height, especially left to right, just like you're trying to keep your singles consistent. That single was trash. But anyways, so we'll move on to the second measure. So the second measure is like a flam kicked herta type of pattern. So the first one is going to be, so just think about it as flam, tap, tap, tap. So you're doing a flam and then 3 notes. And then the middle note is going to be accented. It's basically doing like a herta. And then you're adding like a flam onto that. So then after you do the kicked herta type thing, you're going to do a flam accent, also on the same hand that the first flam was on, which in this case is the left. Then you're going to proceed to do the same thing on the right hand. Don't even know why I clicked my sticks there, but anyway, so put it all together. It's the same concept that repeats itself twice, so it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, anyways, and then it finishes off with a flam. So the main note is what is buzzed, not the grace note. So it's not Carolina Crown style, it's, if anybody gets that reference. So it's going to be a flam, buzz, shot. And don't hold it out as long as I am. So then continuing on from there, we have kind of a reprise of measure 1 of the chorus, another set of singles, into a flam tap, and then paradiddle-diddle, paradiddle-diddle, tap-tap. You're going to have to get used to playing paradiddles pretty smoothly for this piece because they tend to repeat themselves a lot. And this is the main part of the chorus, so you're going to want to know this. So think about that. Make sure all the accents are consistent. Yes, not just consistent in height, but also consistent in sound. Make sure your lefts are definitely as strong as your right. You'll be able to tell, especially on that last note, if it's not as loud. You don't want like half accent. You want a full accent. So a lot of that is just forcing a lot more on your left than you think you need. But yeah, anyways. So then the next two measures have a bit of visual in them, so we're back to the back sticking again. So we're going to have a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and it's going to be a pa-da-da, back a pa-da-da. And each of the pa-da-das are accented. Yeah. Then you're going to have 4/16 notes with a backstick on the middle two. So in order to get those fast ones, I mean, you can do, well, you're going to be doing a lot of unnecessary arm motion for a quick backstick like that. So think about just rolling in the left hand as such. Whatever is more comfortable for you. Personally, for me, quick roll in, it's much easier. So then you're going to have 2 low taps and then a low set of singles. So it's placing those two backsticks back together, or back to back, sorry, pun intended, I guess, is probably the trickiest part, is just placing those. I've been doing backsticking for like 5+ years now, so it's pretty natural for me, but I know how it can be unnatural for other people. So anything that's not accented in that measure, just try and keep it as low as possible. So then we have the exact same reprise measure from the end of A section. That is probably the measure that repeats itself the most in this entire piece. Yeah, there we go. So same concept again. Good time to review that if you don't know that measure already. So altogether, the chorus is going to sound like this. And then, oh, sorry. I'll play that at more of a regular tempo. What head should I get from my pro competitor? And if it's a pro competitor, I'm not too certain. I've never owned one of those. It might not be as high tension. Maybe a Evans hybrid, the black Evans hybrid, maybe. That might be the best alternative because that's a bit of a softer head. Hope that helps. But back into this. So then we're gonna have the first ending. So like I said, chorus is gonna sound like this. And that's going to repeat itself throughout the entirety of this entire song. So for the last measure, we're going to have 2 right hand 4 or 2 4s, so 1, 2. So if you're not comfortable with that, it's a good time to get working on your legatos. So the first one, you're going to float the left and you're going to look at it, and then you're also going to float the right and look at it. Sorry, you're going to twirl the right. Yeah, so then keep going from there, and then it's going to be this weird kind of inverted pa-da-da, or not inverted herta. So you're going to have, basically it's a kicked herta around the beat. into a left-hand paradiddle. Once again, I'm just going to let the rhythm speak for itself, and you guys can figure that out. It's natural sticking into a left-hand paradiddle. So, all together. Then end with a flam release. So then this next measure is a little bit tough. We have a patafla into two, I guess, kind of inverted flam taps. And yeah, so this is going to go like this. Release with the single. Key thing is getting those left hand flams as strong as the right, without making it sound choppy and out of time. So, anyways, and then not a necessary visual, we just did it because it adds a lot to it, is if you float the left on the release. So basically you're doing a half turn over, like that, if that makes sense. You know, watch my replay right there. Yeah, that's pretty good left-hand toss right there. It's one of my favorite stick tricks, called a left-hand fade. Always looks cool if you stop it because it looks like you're levitating the stick. Anyways, so yeah, so you're going to have, so that's the first ending. Sorry. 2, 3, and then you're going to click, and that's going to kind of segue into the next section. So once again, the first ending of the chorus, chorus 1. So chorus 1 ends like this. Yeah. Into the next part. So I'm going to skip the solo section, and I'm going to explain to you guys why I'm skipping that. The solos were designed and written by both of us, and I think that it's important for that to stay original. If you guys want to play those solos, you can figure them out for yourself. I'm not saying that because I don't know Will's solo. I wrote that with him, so yeah. So basically, take the solos at your own pace and play whatever you want for them. Write it down. Come up with your own solo. I'd love to see other people play this and then add their own solo on top of it because it's pretty cool. If people can add, so that's the part where you can have your own individual flair and show what you like to do. Because I know there's a lot of things. There's not like too many of. Oh, that was so bad. I'm sorry, my hands are still not warmed up. There's not too many like juggles or anything like that in the piece. So you can do whatever you want. You can do your own solo, but the solos are 4 measures a piece. And yeah, so basically on the 4th measure though of whoever has the second solo, there is a triplet to triplet and then singles split. Or sorry. So if you're on bass line, should be pretty natural for you. And then somebody has the upbeats on the left-hand triplets, and then I guess it's just regular sticking for the singles. So key thing is not crushing the rhythms when you play them and making sure they're the same. That's the goal for them to sound that way, but I know it's a lot harder than it sounds. So, yeah, make sure it's just keeping those singles, the second pair, nice and open. So then from there, that is the solo section. So it's just that measure where you have the splits, triplets, and then singles. And then you go into chorus 2. So like I said, we know chorus already. So just to refresh, it's going to sound like this. Here's the chorus. And then, sorry. Can't believe I keep leaving that off. So once again. I left it off again. Yeah. Anyways, you kind of get the point there. I see a text typo there. Oops. It says please flam tap slow. I think that's what it is. So flam tap slow. Think about it as this. It is going to be, if you separate the hands, I learned this from the great Shane Nichols, and I can't believe I didn't think about it this way before, is take one hand off of a flam tap. What you're basically doing is 3 notes together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. With an accent, of course, on the first. And then for the other hand, you're starting with a tap. And put them together. Of course, you're going to have to work on the grace notes yourself. Etc. We don't play flam taps that fast in this thing, but in another cover, I might be doing that. So, anyways. So, yeah, like I said, chorus sounds like this. There we go. Alright, anyways, continuing on into the next part, we have a big 6-tuplet backsticking section for chorus 2's special ending. So, you're going to start with 2 patata-baccatas. If you need any further explanation on those, please let me know, because I can break those down even further. So in the second measure, the beat 3 and 4 measure, the first measure is going to go, and then you're going to do an over. So you can basically air fake that if there's nobody there for you, but and just kind of ghost it and think about the note in your head. Here we go again. Yeah, and then the last beat I didn't mention is just another backup. And then the next measure is going to be another, starts with another da-da-da-back-da. And then you're going to do inverse patatas with the cross on the first left. It's a pretty common little visual that a lot of drum lines do. Etc. So then the next part is a split. You can do this with whatever sticking you want, but the kind of weird sticking, as you can kind of see here, I mean, I don't know if you can really see it, but it has like kind of like a diddle triplet like split. So it's basically where you take it's basically right, left, left, right, left, left. So you can do that, and if you do that, so it's basically for part 1, and then the other part is, and then the second one, or the very last triplet for whoever has the upbeat, has to do a triple stroke, because you can't do, I mean, I'm doing it, but that's not very natural and not really fun to do. Maybe for another cover one day. So, yeah, but you can easily do it like with patatas or, and then triplets, whatever you're comfortable with. So then after that, there's no fancy thing on the release, just 2, 3, click, tap. All right, so once again, the special ending for course 2 is going to be 2, 3, click. All right, so basically to recap thus far we've gone over the A section, basically what you're supposed to do for the chorus, and then also for the solo section, and then chorus 2. So we're almost at the halfway point already, so I'm pretty proud with the progress that I'm making teaching this. Don't know how many of you are actually going to be sticking with us, but no matter what, if you guys can take away like one thing from this, that's a job well done, because I know like this method of learning is not easiest. I'm sure we all just loved having schoolwork this way, but yeah, so just make the most out of it you can. You don't have to learn the entire thing, but yeah, you can stick with it. So this next part I'm gonna break down as much as I can. However, there's a separate tutorial for this that I will probably link in the comments once I'm done with this tutorial, and that is a tutorial where I learned this from. So this is a visual from Stick Trick Tuesday. Yes, I did not create this visual, but this is not rhythm, this is a visual. Visuals are not kind of copyrighted, necessarily. I don't think so. Anyways, so the bridge is going to look like this. This is a very difficult visual, the most difficult visual in this entire piece. And then it goes into the actual playing part of the bridge. So this is during the whistle count. It's an 8 count whistle. I'm sorry, I cannot speak Spanish. No hablo español. I don't think I said that the right way. No español. Nah. Sorry, bud. Basically, for this, it's going to be an 8 count visual, and part of it's going to involve trapping it. But I'm just going to try and break this down. So first, we're basically going to do tap, 2, 3. This is the first part. So what you're doing is doing a high mom, and then as you're going to force the high mom even further over and put your index finger on top of the stick, just like that. And then you're going to lay your palm flat, like that. So 1, 2. So basically you want to get that quick enough. That's the hardest part of this trick. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. So when you do that, you're going to place the beat stick on beat 3. 1, 2, 3. And you want your stick to be flat so that this is basically flat with the drum. And then you want a space in between your middle finger and index finger. Your index finger is the main thing that's trapping the stick, where you're going to place your other stick. You're going to put the bead there. So once again, 1, 2, 3. Now on this third beat, you're going to half flip your right stick up. This is tricky, all right? You're going to half flip this up. You don't have to put much behind it, just a simple flip up. Easiest thing in the book. So then 1, 2, 3. So you're doing that on beat 2. 1, 2. So you're doing 2 things at once. Keep that in mind. 1, 2. 1, 2. Once again, 1, 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, alright. Just making sure I'm keeping in time while doing this, because it's weird teaching this. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. So basically, you're kind of like going to place this down on an and. 1, 2, and 3. So don't think about it too much. Just place the hand down once you trap it, basically. 1, 2, and then you're going to place on 3. So, all right, we're going to pick up from here, all right? So from beat 3, you're going to lift the stick up to where your hand is, all right? You're not changing anything with this. You're going to lift up, and that's going to be 4, all right? Keep that in mind. Then 5, you take your stick, your hand down to the lower part of the stick. Be careful, because this is the part that can get splintery, especially if you're using your drumline sticks. These sticks are already kind of frayed, so be careful. Don't cut your hands. Both me and my roommate did cut our hands and get splinters based off of that part. So then, so basically for this part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you do the fourth part, you're going to change and put your hand down here. 4. So 3, 4. So you basically switch these. Switch them. 4. I'm so bad at explaining this. I'm so sorry. 4. 4. So then 5, you're going to take this simply to the side. So this would be to your left. Or this looks like to the right, but this is to the left. So towards your left hand, and you basically just rotate this 90 degrees the opposite way. And then for 6, you trap the stick. So once again, 1, 2, 3, 4 on that change. Then 5, and then you're literally bringing the stick down. You're going to want to curl your fingers to get them out of the way, and take your hand off the stick. So that is beat 6. And you're trapping this. You want to make sure you get it right on the thing. You don't want to trap it on the edge, because it will fall off like such. So think about it. 1, 2. Remember, you're flipping the stick. 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically, you force it down and let this have control of the stick, and let the momentum bring it down so you don't trap your hand as well with the stick. 6. Then basically, this should remain on whatever surface you're playing on, provided you have it actually on the drum. And then 7. you have to flip this back up. Remember, your stick's backwards. 7, 8. So then what you're doing is basically picking the stick up with the peace sign and leave the other 3 on the side, and then you roll it across like this. Taking it like this, rolling it across, and slipping your index or your middle finger back over the stick so that you retain traditional grip. Sorry, this is really confusing, but this is a key visual in this part, and I figured it'd be really unfair if I didn't teach this in full context to you all, because the video where I learned this from might not even be up, I'm not sure, but I will link that video for also further clarification, though I don't even think that video nearly explains it probably in as much detail as I did. It's pretty quick. So once again, 1, 2. The second beat is the hardest, alright? 1, 2, 3, 4, you change them, 5 goes over here, 6, 7, you flip back up, and 8, you twirl back to traditional grip. And then you're already in a big accent prep position to go into the next flam. So altogether, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, bam. And you're into the next part. Alright, so we're going to move on from there to the inverse and the inverted section. This section right here in the bridge is the hardest part of the whole thing. So if you can nail the bridge down to this piece, then you're pretty much set and you're successful. So yeah, so for this part you have inverted pataflaflas. So instead of with constant changing sticking, you do is that rim knock with both sticks. I think that's what, are you referring to this? If you're referring to, I don't think there's rim knocks in anywhere else. Yeah, you're basically holding one stick. Basically, you go from, I guess it's here, and yeah, so technically it's with both sticks. It's basically this stick applying sandwich pressure to this stick onto the surface. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, it's not like you're playing with both. It's mainly just your right hand that forces the pressure, like that. It's basically that. So yeah, continuing on from there. So inverted pataflafla. So you're gonna do. If you've played the warm-up Flamus from Santa Clara Vanguard, this would make a lot of sense to you. So anyways, so it's flam, basically flam, accent, double flam. And then it keeps going. And then so that's the first 2 beats. And then you're going to have a flam accent, inverted flam tap into another flam accent on the same hand. If you're not familiar with inverted flam taps, you can also look up tutorials on those. Inverted flam taps is basically a flam tap with an alternate sticking, and then the same flam as that alternate sticking you just went into. So it gives off a really interesting sticking look, and it's usually can be quite chaotic to learn at first, and they definitely weren't my favorite rudiment, but now I use them a lot. Because if you can use inverteds cleanly and well, it's basically the biggest flex that you can do as a drummer, because you're not just playing a rhythm constantly one way, you're playing it inverted, and inverts are a big thing in advanced drumline music. Yeah, okay, anyways. So, yeah, so basically, it's kind of just something where you got to figure it out, and I know that's kind of a jerk way of putting it, but you can also just do a regular flam tap if you're not comfortable with the invert, especially when you get this to full tempo. It's literally the exact same concept, except the sticking isn't whack. So, anyways, so then it's the exact same thing on the other hand, off the left. So, anyways, so break it down together. Left. And then you're going to do the same thing for the next 2 measures, except add the diddles after any flam accent that you have. The only way you're going to play that successfully is if you keep the control of the flams and you keep control of the diddles low. about that. Think about that accent groove. It's a fun part, all right? Wonder how fast I can actually play that. It's like Chopstickovich tempo right there. No spoilers there at all. All right, so then the next part is pretty simple. 3 lesson 25s. Lesson 25. Yo, lesson 25, 25, 25. Don't think that's how it works, but with the accents on the first and fourth partials, ditto on the second. And nothing on the third. And you end with a shot. And then this next part is really unnecessary. We just did this to kind of flex because we know how to do hand-to-hands really well together. But basically, you have one person plays a check of 8 16th notes. And then the drag, same person doing the thing, except it's 1 30-second note off. You basically play that together and it sounds like. And we legit did do it in the video. If you slow it down and watch it, we did the hand-to-hand split. I didn't edit in the audio for that at all, and that was completely authentic. Not saying that to cover up anything. I'm not saying that to do anything. I'm just telling you guys, we legit did a hand-to-hand, double hand-to-hand split. That's typically for the most advanced, like, bass drummers and stuff like that. Like, doing with one hand is easy, but 2 hands, it's a whole another dimension of chaos. So, anyway, so to recap, the bridge in a nice slow tempo goes like this, starting with the visual. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, yep, that is that part. I'm not going to play that full tempo again. I'm just going to keep moving on. So once again, we have the chorus, and this is chorus 3. So as you noticed, it's typically a section, then a chorus, and another section, and a chorus. And that's the exact pattern that kind of goes throughout this entire song. As you have usually each of like the A, B, or C section, or the bridge represents a verse, and the other thing is the chorus, just the chorus reprised. So anyways, so once again, the chorus to refresh your guys' memory. And then now we get into the third ending, all right? So the third ending is going to be 4 5-lets, and these 5-lets are 5 notes in the time of 4, not 5 in the time of 3 like we had in measure 2. It's 5 notes in the time of 4, so it's going to be a bit slower. And for the right hand 5-lets to start, there's going to be a back sticking, and then for the left hand, there's going to be a cross. So you want to make sure those also all are the same value. You don't want to go. That's boring. You don't want to go. Rush through it. Nice and smooth. So then for the last measure of that, you're going to have 3 counts of roll into a tap click. Make sure you guys are playing with the same velocity and stick heights and consistency in order to get that clean. So put those 2 together. Sorry. Nice smooth roll. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and move on to page 3. So we're coming down the home stretch here. Hopefully most of you guys have made it with me to this point. So this is the fun part. So this is an old drumline piece that I had that my friend Jackson wrote. And with his permission we added this in. And this is a pretty cool thing. So this is the full length of this thing. It's called Vet Clinic Clinically Clean Beats Along the Channel 1 Suite Yeet Yeet. That is the full name of this section of the piece right here. So yeah, this is going to be the fun part, and this has some cool groove to it. So the first 2 beats are 6-stroke rolls with accents. So diddles on the E and the and, or E and the one E, the and, yeah. So make sure those are some beefy accents. I believe this is supposed to be at forte. So then it's kind of an odd thing. We go into a triplet buzz stick slide thing. Make sure all the accents on that triplet are consistent. So then from there, the next measure is going to be 2 low left hand things and 2 right hand 2 shots. Make sure those are, oh, hello, Jackson. I'm playing your legendary music right now. It's pretty fun. So then you're gonna have a count of roll and then do jack do jack do do. So yeah, it speaks for itself. Like I said, I'm just gonna let this kind of breathe for itself. So then we have a nice pas de fla-fla without the next flam into a flam accent, and then the same pattern that we had in measure 1 instead of a shot, or a shot instead of the triplet. So, and make sure supposed to be buzzes written on that last one. So there's a typo. There's supposed to be a buzz on that last note of measure 51. Forgot to add that in there. So. Anyways, so then the next part we're going to have in, I guess it's just a flam on the second partial of 4/16, and then 2 flam taps, and then basically decrescendo the buzz roll down. And you're going to go to the edge with that. So then, for this next part, very simple. First measure goes like this. And then you're going to come back up with the diddles. And then you're going to play the next measure, which goes like this, in the center. And then you're going to play the same measure that you did in measure 53, back on the edge. So play it all together. Got to make sure all the left-hand accents are consistent, and everyone watching this, keep that in mind, because that's something that typically sounds really bad, is when you play accents that don't sound consistent at all with each other, and it sounds like you're half-button the accents. You can hear how that's like just not a full accent. It's just yeah. Make sure you play the full accents. So then put that all together. And then this next part, one of my favorite parts in this entire piece is the ending parts of this. We have a tap buzz, and then 4 sets of 4 quarter note worth of 16ths on the right hand, with a left hand full gawk release, or as much as you can get behind the left hand stick. And of course, you're doing a crescendo split for that. If you need proof that we actually did that in the video, you can rewatch that for yourself. Give me more watch time. And you're going to kind of float the left into the shot, and then boom. How many buzzers are you trying for each hand on the decrescendo buzz roll? Yeah, it's you're basically you're treating it like a 16th note check, and then buzzing each 16th note. But let them breathe, because it's all supposed to slur together. It's not supposed to be, so let them open up a bit. So 8 buzzes to be correct. So anyways, Yeah, so this next part we get into is the next measure. So I'm just going to let it speak for itself. So tap, 6-stroke roll, and then inverted, like right hand flam lead. I don't know. Yeah, so there's that, and then the measure 58 is a little bit tricky, but not too difficult. You have so I'm not going to really break this down. If you need to learn stick juggles, there's millions of tutorials out there. This is the most common trick to learn first after like the high mom and back stick. If you look up EMC production stick trick compilation, you can find it there. SDJ Malik does about 5 different breakdowns of this. I'm pretty sure BIOS does a breakdown as well. Might be a bit harder to find that one though. So basically you're taking it, you do the juggle exchange, 2 back notes, then you flip. So, yeah. Yeah, anyways, you get the point. So then the next measure is tap, out, in. So you can do that by yourself with just 2 clicks. But you're supposed to do it out. So basically keep your sticks like this, go out and then in. So basically their right stick is hitting your left hand stick. And it's better for a full drumline visual than just 2 people. Typically 4 or more really makes that visual pop. And then, yeah, anyways. So then to finish that off, usually you would pull the right hand stick or the left hand stick down with the right on top. But if you're just doing the 2 clicks, then it's just a buzz. So then, yeah, you're going to do, and then flam to accent, flam to accent. And then you're going to point that at the end. So then finally, we're going to have the fun part that is so long you say, I don't... Somebody type in the lyrics to this. It's do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I don't want to mess up the lyrics and embarrass myself right now. I should know it because I listened to the song like a million times to write this. But that's the part. This really is not possible in any shape or fashion because if you just do, it just looks stupid. So come up with your own thing if you're not going to play that with another person. But basically, you're going to point. You're going to go in. So you're going to start with bottom, top. So bottom, top, and then over, in. And then you're going to go over onto their stick. So you'd be hitting on this side, over, then back in, and then dun 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 dun. All right, I'm going to do that one more time. So bottom, top, over, back, dun 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 dun. I'm going to play on my wall. Yep, and then from there, we're going to go into the next measure, flam tap into. Yes, so much to do, so much to see, so what's wrong with taking the back streets? Thank you, Mr. Dissertator. So much you do, so much you see, so much to take in the back streets. Yeah, and then the back streets are just, the back streets are aggressive, I think, if you've seen that meme by Marlon Webb. And then, you can kind of practice that. You're going to do a flam tap. Then 6/16, and you're going to just do the high mom. You're going to outstretch your arm fully and do the high mom in midair. Hopefully that's a very simple visual for you to do. You want to make that high mom look as fluent as possible. Make sure that right hand is first accented and then consistent. There's a lot of great legato exercises you can practice to work on these. So then, yeah. So then you're going to do top, go, 2, 2. So, sorry. Then wait the beat. I hit that way too hard. So yeah, and it's a full gawk. So you want to get pretty much like if you have stick tape marked off on here, you want to basically hit right around that spot to get a full gawk. That's how we do it in my drum line, and it gets that nice sweet spot sound. So you want to get the full gawk. That's typically not something you try because the lower it is, the harder it is to cut through in the band. So you typically don't do gawks in bands unless it's just the drum line and they're like up front, or your blue coat's on top of a stage string downside up. Anyways, so yeah, we're basically gonna have yeah. So basically, right before you hit that gawk, you don't have to like do it perfectly in time, but you're gonna just be muting the drum head. Yes, just keep the lyrics going, guys. Let's keep it going. Sorry, that was the wrong part. So then this next part is a kind of a reprise of an old flam split that never was really played correctly in all contexts. Not to roast anyone in this chat, but this is really a hard piece to play. Because like this type of context, you have to have the flam constant while not like screwing it up completely. But so yeah, and the flam splits, to play the inverse part of this, if you recognize in the video, you don't start on a flam accent if you're part 2, you start on a part 2. So to put this in context, you have 2 different flam split parts that are going on. So part 1 goes like this. So you're going to try and get those heights at cadets heights. If you don't know what cadets heights are, watch the cadets 2016 line and you'll get what I mean. So try and aim for 15. And then the inverse part starts on 2 flam taps, and you're basically going to follow the same pattern. So then we have once again a split, but it's the reverse of the one at the end of page 1. And then into the next part. So if you're downbeats, if you're upbeats. And then the next part is just a 3-way backstick simple pattern. It's like, I would call it a 3-way backstick figure 8. So for a 3-way backstick, what you're doing is 1, then you're doing a regular backstick, and then you're gonna be doing basically the peace sign. That's a very common thing to do most stick tricks. And it fits in between your grip like this. Then you're gonna take the stick and rotate it sideways. So keep in mind, watch 1, 2. I already got my middle finger underneath the stick right here. Then it comes into the side and you have the 3rd one. So then you're going to pull in the stick like this and put your index finger back over, then repeat the process. 1, 2, 3. And then it's tap, shot, and then you're basically good. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, shot. If you need more clarification, I think it's spider sticking or 3-way back sticking tutorial. You can look that up. I do not speak Spanish. If anybody speaks in this Spanish and can translate, hopefully that helps. When this video fully goes up, I'm pretty sure you can put Spanish subtitles on if you need it. But anyways, so then you're going to put patados with those instead of with patados. It's pretty fun if you look at it from the right angle. So like if you look at it from this angle or this angle, looks cool. The coolest thing is when you take 3-way backstick and you do it together. And especially if you can do it like really fast. Right, that was bad. Anyways, so continuing on from there. So after that, you're homeward bound. We have the chorus once again. So then, yeah, so now we get into the final ending. So this is float splits. So you have 3 diddles with, you play the ending beat to the end of that. So basically start on the edge and work your way in. So if you're playing the downbeat, if you're playing the upbeat, and then you're going to be grabbing / kind of muting the drum when you do these 3 shots. And then you come back for 2 flam drags, and then a 3 count, or I guess it's 2 count 16th note or 32nd notes hand-to-hand split. That's a super fun part to play. So then for that visual at the end, you're doing a front flip, or sorry, you're doing a back flip into a front flip together, then down. And the down will be on the downbeat of the next measure. 1, 2, 3. You don't have to kill it because there's no music playing at that point, so you can just kind of gently put it down. But anyways, so yeah, that is the entirety of Allstar. Does anybody need any more clarification on any parts going over this? And if this is looking like the way it is, if Dissertator and Jackson A learn this, we should totally play with Will, you, me, and do like a four-person like rendition of this. That would be so much fun, and we could completely change the music because Allstar's form is really basic. But if anybody wants to play this for a video or anything like that, or just have some fun with this once the quarantine is over, it looks like that's not going to be until the middle of the summer, probably when we're all in band camp where I'm auditioning for drumline again. So it says, what was the buzz sweep pattern? Do you know what page that is on by chance, Ian Cannon? So it says, let's see here, buzz sweep pattern. I'm looking. What was the buzz sweep pattern? I'm looking across the board. I'm trying to remember where this is. I feel like it could be the is it the I think that's what it is. I'm not entirely certain. Yeah, but I think no, not that. Do you know where it is in the piece? I feel like it might be back on the first page. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is, man. The buzz sweep pattern doesn't really ring a bell. But yeah, here, I'm going to sound it like triplets. Oh, yeah, is it this part? I feel like that might be what you're referring to. Is that what it is? Is that kind of what it is? There's no buzzes in there, but it might be with that. Yeah, so that's just put-it-up, back-it-up. So put-it-up, back-it-up, put-it-up, back-it-up. Then put-it-up over. Then another put-it-up, back-it-up. Then you're going to do that for the same measure. Inverse. And then split. All together. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and play this in its full entirety and then wrap up the stream and start an Instagram stream probably where I'm just going to play to some music and have fun for a little while. But here we go. Here's Allstar. Thank you guys for tuning in, and here it goes. Here comes some freelance. All right, and that is all of Allstar right there. I just kind of locked in and was focused on that. So that is all of Allstar. Rewatch through this if you need clarification on anything. I'm going to try and do some timestamps to different parts and sections in the comments section, so I'll be staying up and doing that, of course. Thank you guys so much for watching this full breakdown. I'm going to share this on Facebook. I'll share the link in Discord server and everything. The sheet music is in the description, and it's basically available permanently. This video will be up permanently unless my YouTube channel dies, then maybe not so. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and hope you guys learned something, and it was a pleasure. See you guys in the next video. Adios.